Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whatever the I Want podcast, where I, your host, Gabby, get to talk about whatever the I want. And today's episode is for all of the girlies who are continuously judging themselves. Me also being one of them. This is something we gotta work on, y'all. So I actually had this idea last night, and I was realizing just how hard on myself I can be because it can be down to like hair being on my face in a picture where I'm like, I don't want to post it. Or like maybe if you see like the rolls on my back, like I don't want to post it. And like I'm getting over this. It's something that I'm constantly working on. I mean, if you see like my 28th birthday post, I did post pictures where my back, you can see some rolls, but it's just skin. It's just like, in that moment, I'm like, suck it up. Like, if somebody's going to judge you for this, that's ridiculous. It says so much more about them than it does about you. And then I have moments like yesterday where I was wearing like a sticky boob, and I don't even like wearing them. I don't know why. I do wear them sometimes, like depending on the outfit. I honestly hate wearing them, and you can kind of see it. And I was like, oh, like, can you see it in the picture, like sending it to friends and all stuff. And then everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then to the people that I was like, can you see the sticky boob? They're like, yes, I can see the sticky boob. But I'm like, do you just see it because I pointed it out so you know what to be looking for, or do you like, is it something that you actually noticed? And so, note to self, stop wearing sticky boobs. They're really annoying, and I'm just not a fan of them. And or maybe it's just that brand. I don't like it. But I also judge myself when it comes to like typos. Like the last episode that I posted had some of the subtitles like switched to a normal font, like the OG font versus like with the outline and the gradient that I have to use, because like I'll probably have to use it for this. For example, I'm wearing a white top, so like the subtitles will just like blend in. And I have had viewers who have trouble seeing, or some who are deaf, and so like I like to make things accessible for people. And so in that split moment, it's literally only, as far as I'm aware, only two, maybe like two specific subtitles that have it in white. And I'm like, fuck, like some part of me was like, let me just delete the whole video and just re-upload it. And I just told myself, like, no, it's fine. It is, I'm wearing a lot of hats right now, right? Like I have to film, I have to edit, I have to sit through this footage multiple times, especially whenever I'm using this mic. The audio is a lot harder to match. Like I'm literally having to go into audio engineer. And then, like there's just so many variables when it comes to filming outside versus whenever I'm filming inside the house. I can control the lighting, like I have more control with the microphone because it's on a stand and it's in one position, whatever. And like, sure, I can clip this. And, theoretically, I should be clipping it because it just makes my life easier with editing the audio. But it just doesn't feel as natural to me. I like when people wear it on their hats or like while they're doing stuff. I just think it's a really cool way to like prop up the mic. But I'm wearing a lot of hats, and so I need to just remind myself that there's people who have teams for this. There's people who literally just film the video and then they send it to their editors, and their editors take care of things. There's a lot of content creators who don't use subtitles, who just allow YouTube to automate those things for them. And like for me, it's like, it's something that, obviously it's a hat that I'm taking on and I choose to, but it's hard to, I guess, like be perfect at everything. And I think that that's really what I struggle with. And that's why I judge myself, is because it's like, I'm not perfect, but it's like, but perfection doesn't exist. And so I want y'all to see that as much as I've worked through a lot of things, there's still a lot of things that I'm still working through. Like, I can be really, really hard on myself. And like, there's cosplays that I haven't even posted because I didn't like the way I looked, because like the green screen wasn't flat. You know, it's a one and only time I've used the green screen, I've used the green screen. Can you say green screen normal, or it's just gonna be green screen from now on? And so I think a big part of it is also being the oldest daughter. So I have a lot of people pleasing tendencies. It's just this need to be perfect, because it was just put onto me at a very young age that I had to have straight A's, that I had to reach a certain, I don't even know if it's like stature or just to make my parents proud. And a lot of that was like, oh, through schooling. That's how I make my parents proud. It's through my schooling, it's through being a good student, and like I did my very best to not get in trouble. And like I I didn't want to go to college. I did not want to go to college. I knew that this was what I wanted to do at an early age, and I was like, I can just learn how to do YouTube on my own and blah blah blah. And my parents were like, no, no, you're going to school, and that it is what it is. And, it was a lot of like, are you sure you don't want to be a lawyer? Are you sure you don't want to do this? And then at some point I was doing journalism, and that's essentially what my degree is in. But I wanted to switch to production, and one thing or another happened, and I graduated early, knowing that I would, but also like I wanted to actually extend my time in college so that I could switch to production. But my family was going through a tough time. So I was like, I'm just going to try to make my family's life easier. So I'm like, I'm not going to put more stress on my family if I can just graduate early and then just like figure things out as I go. It felt like for me, the least that I could do was to graduate early and to just get my degree in telecommunications with a focus in news. I wanted my focus to be in production. I got really embarrassed with the idea of, oh, people are constantly changing their degrees. Like there's a huge statistic that like, students change their degrees, multiple times within their college career. And I was like, well, no, I didn't switch mine once, and I just had this like, I guess it's like perception of like, that's what being perfect was. Like I was not allowed to change my mind. And whenever I was finally being open to the idea of changing my mind, I didn't end up doing it. And I say all of this because whenever you know that you can do something and that you should be doing something, you should be doing it. Like, I knew during college that I wanted to be making YouTube videos, that I wanted to be, filming my makeup routines and my hair tutorials. And I mean, I have had so many ideas, and like, it's crazy that now those ideas are like so popular or whatever. But I mean, theoretically I could have been like more of a pioneer when it came to that stuff, but it was because I held myself back that wasn't the case. And so here I am, still acting on those ideas, but maybe I would have found success earlier. But I mean, that's not for me to like sit here and be like, what would my life be like, and to like be overthinking everything. But my point of all this is to stop judging yourself before you even do something. And I think a lot of that stuff has been projected onto me. And this guy is on his motorcycle, and he is just like, I want everybody to know I'm on my motorcycle. Like, whenever I told my parents, like, hey, I'm moving to Miami, I'm moving in with a guy that I'm seeing, my dad, the first thing he said was, okay, so you're moving in with this person, and then you're going to move in with Juan, then you're moving with Pedro, and then you're moving with Carlos, and you're moving with this guy, and then you're moving with that guy. What are people going to say about you? It's literally what he told me. What are people going to say about you? And I don't think that he really realized like how much that affected how I went about life. And so whenever I was ready to leave that relationship, all I had in the back of my head was I didn't want to prove my dad right. I did not want to come back home and to be crying and to be like, you were right. And so I stayed in that relationship way longer than I needed to, all because I didn't want to prove my dad right, which honestly, he shouldn't have told me any of that stuff to begin with. And again, this podcast isn't for anybody to sit here and to judge. Like, I am vulnerable about these things because like we live and we learn, and we move past these things. Like, no parent is perfect. And it's just for y'all to see my perspective on things and why I am the way that I am. It's just me sharing my experiences, but it's not for anybody to get any hate or to get any receive any judgment based off of this. The whole point of this is just like, I guess this is like my therapy. Really, it truly is. And so I used to overthink everything that I posted, and I still get, a little insecure while filming in public. I am filming in public. I'm filming in my gym's parking lot, and I'm like, oh, there's people, walking and moving around, and so it's just a way to kind of like exposure therapy. It's a little too cold outside, or else I would have been filming at the park. We're getting there to where I'll be filming in parks again, but for now it's still a little bit too cold. It was like in the 40s, and I'm like, it's 50 degrees right now, like, and I'm wearing one layer. Like, honey, we're not going to the park, okay? Sorry. But I am just realizing, even when it came to like drawings that I did yesterday for the Artist Way, I can just be so hard on myself. Like, oh, well, this line is too thick, or why did I pick this color, or like, why does it look like this? And I'm just so quick to like judge myself. And it's honestly really hurtful to see how mean I can be to myself. And obviously, this is something that I'm working through. I'm not mean to myself all the time. I'm not hypercritical of myself all the time, but I definitely used to be. I definitely used to be. This is progress. I was thinking that either yesterday or a couple days ago. I was like, I have made a lot of progress as a content creator, as a human being. I've made a lot of progress in knowing to be kind and gentle to myself. I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm ruthless to myself. I don't sit here and say like, well, you're fucking dumb and you're a dumbass and you're I don't say that to myself. I'm not like that. I'm not at that extreme. Probably when I'm depressed, I can be. I can't think of how my brain is like in that moment. I don't want to like dip into that headspace, you know what I mean? So I can't speak for depressed Gabby, but I can speak for kind of emotionally regulated Gabby, and she's not that hard on herself. She's more so like, like, why would you post that? Or like, even when it comes to like, say a celebrity posts a bathroom pic, right? And the toilet lid is up. That shit will bother me. It will bother me. I'm like, why would you have the lid up? And that's also just like a pet peeve of mine. I hate having the toilet lid up. I don't know why people keep it up. Just close it. What if something falls? Like, people drop their phones, people drop stuff on the countertop all the time. It could fall into the toilet. Just keep the lid closed. Like, it just feels nicer. I don't know. It's just something that I enjoy seeing, is the lid down. And so, I'll see like a celebrity post a selfie in the bathroom and the lid is up, and I'm like, ugh, this is bothering me. But why? And I'd be like, ew, why'd they post that? But like, why am I sitting here judging them? And like, say I take a cute bathroom picture and then I see the toilet lid is up. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking post it. And I'm like, but why? You see what I'm saying? Like, my brain is like so immediately like jumping to conclusions of like, that's ugly, that's terrible, like nitpicking. I definitely feel like I can be nitpicky, and I think that's the rising Virgo in me. Or it's just like it's probably that, and a combination of being the oldest daughter of like, you need to be perfect and you need to be a certain way because that's how your parents expect for you to be, and that's how everybody expects for you to be, because you need to be perfect because you're a woman, and ladies cross their legs and ladies wear earrings and ladies, have like, we have to be a certain way. And maybe that's also the pressure of being a woman. Like, I feel like women have so much pressure of being like, you gotta be feminine, right? Like, but don't be like so feminine to where like you're uptight. But then don't be like, you can have a little bit of masculinity in you, like you should be working out, but like don't work out too much to where like you look way too skinny. Like, we like a woman with meat on her body, and like blah blah blah. And it just feels like, oh my gosh, like there's just so much pressure surrounding all of us. And I think that I am working on not being that pressure, and to not give a fuck about the pressure that other people are putting onto me, like, life is not that serious. Like, it's not that serious. So like, I'm gonna post that picture with the little sticky boob showing. And like, if people notice it, if it bothers them, then that's on them. It's a cute picture. So like, maybe y'all are all gonna be commenting on the picture like sticky boob, sticky boob. I see. If you notice it, we should come up like I'm trying to think of what's like an emoji that we could use. What do people use for what's a boob emoji? People use a peach for your butt. You use the eggplant for penis, and then we use what do you use for boobs? Like, what do guys say if they want to like see your chichis? What's an emoji? Drop down an emoji in the comments of what you use whenever you're talking about your chichis. Oh, maybe like is there a melon emoji or I don't know. I don't know what emoji you would use for that. I guess I don't be sexting like that. Again, sorry, mom and dad. I assume that they listen to the podcast, because they were like, how do we follow and all this stuff? And I'm like, bro, they're going to be like, really, Gabby, really? But I've always been like this. I've always been open to talking about sex and like all these things. Like, that's just how I've always been. But yeah, y'all, we need to stop judging ourselves. We need to stop being hypercritical of ourselves and just to understand that like we're humans, we make mistakes, we fall, and like who gives a fuck about a typo? There's plenty of content creators I watch that have typos who just use automated captions and they have accents like they're Australian and their automated captions would be like entirely different from like what they're saying, but they don't even bother changing it. And it's like I still watch them, like that doesn't stop me from seeing somebody. Or like there'll be a inspiring TikTok and people will use the wrong your or the wrong to, and like, or even like maybe they have like dyslexia and like mix up some of the words, and like I still like it, I still comment, I still do all these things. And I'd be like, oh, it's so embarrassing, like a typo, like they got their words mixed up. But it's like, well, but who cares? And so like I'm just learning to be more gentle with myself, and I hope that y'all also work on being gentle with yourselves, because damn, like we wouldn't get anything done if we're so hard on ourselves. And like that's how it was for a long time. I didn't get anything done. I was just like stuck because I'm like, well, I'm not, why bother trying if I'm just going to fail? And, if it's not perfect, why bother trying? Like, why bother going to the gym if I'm not going to have a perfect workout? Why bother picking up a new hobby if I'm not going to be any good at it? Like, why bother doing any of that? And that's how it was for a long time for me. And now it's kind of like, but just try, put yourself out there. Like, who knows what's going to stick? Who knows what people are going to be receptive to? But at the end of the day, it's like, you're doing it because you want to. You're doing it because it feels good. You're doing it because, you're hoping it inspires somebody or makes somebody laugh or smile. I actually journaled about that. It might have been yesterday or this morning. Part of my pages for the Artist Way, which, by the way, I haven't really been reading Simple Abundance. I've been mostly focusing on the Artist Way. I actually haven't read Simple Abundance in like 2 weeks since I started the Artist Way. So like I have a lot of reading to catch up there. But yeah, so I was like writing about how one of my purposes in life, I feel like, is to make people laugh, is to make people smile, and is to make people feel good about themselves. And I do feel like I'm aligned with that purpose, whether it be with what I post on Instagram, in terms of like fitness content, or like what I post literally anywhere. Like I just feel like that's just kind of who I am as a person. So it's like I just gotta wake up and keep on trying and understand that, like, why do I gotta be so hard on myself? I know that we can be our own worst critics, and for what reason? If anything, we should be the most gentlest with ourselves. And I'm not sure why we aren't. So yeah, that's something that I'm working on, and I hope that we all get to a place where we're just so gentle and so kind to ourselves, and we stop holding ourselves back from our potential, because we are filled with so much of it. And if you want to open up a bakery, if you want to open up a storefront for gym clothes, if you want to become like the best damn mechanic in your town, do it. Do it. Wake up and just try. Like, because like we're all gonna die anyways, you know what I mean? Like death is inevitable. I know that it scares a lot of people, but it's like, bro, like I like to sometimes imagine myself like on the planet, because like I'm just like this tiny person, and then like there's like this town, and then there's like the city, and then there's like, you know, the whole state. And if you just picture yourself like from like space, you're just this tiny little speck. And so it's like, why am I sitting here pressed about, or like overthinking what I'm going to post on Instagram when it doesn't fucking matter? Like, I'm literally just like the speck of dust in the universe, and like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So hopefully that makes you feel good and not overthink everything where you're like, fuck, nothing matters, and then you spiral. It's not what I'm trying to get at. I just hope that you understand that it's not that serious, babe. It's not that serious. I'm working on understanding that things are not that serious. And yeah, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go make foodies at home. I'm thinking about marinating some chicken. I saw a little like recipe on Pinterest. And what else? I have a lot to do, honestly. I got a lot to do. A lot of editing and things I got to work on, and reading for the artist way. So I'm just going to worry about eating right now. Let me not think about my to-do list. That's another thing that I try to catch myself, is whenever I find myself like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And then I'm like, I'm already like planning halfway through the day, and it's like, you're not even promised like 20 minutes from now. Like, think about what you got to do right now. I'm really, really focusing on trying to like just be present. I mean, I could be president too, shit. Be present about like the moment, and like just living and just being, and like, let me focus on what I got to focus on now. And that for me is just driving home and eating something because I'm hungry, and then I'll worry about my massive to-do list. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day and that you move your body today. I had a great workout in the gym, and I was just so happy. I went grocery shopping yesterday, and I'm just really taking care of myself. And it just feels great to know that you are your own number one priority. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder when I'll be ready to have kids. And I was like, maybe like 4 or 5 years. Then here I am, like counting in bed. I'm like 29, 30, 31, 32. I'm like, 32. Will I be ready to have kids? And I'm like, 33, 34. I'm like 34. You know, I'm like, ugh. I mean, at this point, it's just like, I'm just focusing on me. Like, I don't know why kids randomly popped up into my head, but I'm like, I am not ready to raise a child right now. I am just ready to keep focusing on myself and keep on grinding, because the come up is here, y'all. We are climbing. We're climbing. And I'm really excited to just continue to watch this channel grow. So thank you all for being here, and I will catch you in the next one.